Hello, thank you for tuning in. This video is about the first words on my sign, demand peace. Many people have stopped and asked me, what do I mean by demand peace? Well, this video is to address that issue. First of all, demand peace from yourself. Start small. What do I mean by this? Well, what I mean is give yourself 1 to 2 hours in the evening where you just sit in peaceful reflection. Turn the TV off, turn the radio off, turn your cell phone off. Just sit and look around at the possessions in your house and ask yourself, how important are these things? What's really important in life? Is it the things that I have in my house? Or is it the people that are in my life that love me and that I love? Is it my health? Is it how long I live? What's really important in life? So, demand peace from yourself. Also, demand peace at home. If you have children, you can tell your children that you would like to have an hour of quiet time every night where they're not running around the house banging stuff and running up and down the hallways and creating all sorts of noise. So you can demand peace from your children and tell them that, this is to benefit them as well. That you're truly looking for a few minutes of quiet time where you can reflect on your busy day and what you want to do with your time, possibly schedule time to take them to the park. Demand peace in your neighborhood. Speak to your neighbors. Do you have a neighborhood where somebody's spray painting the fences or they're vandalizing the work vans in the neighborhood because there's no writing on the side of the van, so they've decided to use that as a place for them to put their gang message? You don't have to have a neighborhood watch in order to watch the neighborhood. You don't have to have a cell phone to communicate with your neighbors. If you have a few neighbors that are interested in helping you out, then in the evenings when you get home from work, you can go to those neighbors and let them know that you're going for a walk. They have this new thing out. It's called Family Radio Frequency System, I think it's called. I can't remember exactly what the words are, but it's basically a walkie-talkie system, similar to this. This is a small walkie-talkie. I got it at Walmart. They sell them in 2-packs. It's very small. As you can see, it fits in the palm of my hand. This reaches up to 1.5 miles over flat land, right through houses and everything. And it has 12 channels on it, so you can literally use this to communicate with your neighbors and let them know if you see something. That way a neighbor who's at home that has a phone could call the police if necessary. Also, they can come to assist you if you need backup. If you'd like to have somebody else to come and observe what you're seeing, you can contact them. So think about using this family radio frequency system, as it is an excellent way to communicate with your neighbors and keep an eye on the neighborhood. Personally, in my neighborhood, we didn't have any gang activity, but I would give it to my daughter. And when she went out to play outside, at times in the beginning, I wouldn't let her leave the neighborhood or leave my yard. But eventually I moved into a neighborhood where there was a play set down in a play area, part of the townhome community. It was at the end of our block. She wanted to be able to go there and play, and I wanted to be able to let her without having to go there if I was online doing research or doing homework or actually checking in my messages from work. So I gave her one of these and let her go to the park. Many times this happened with no problem. She would key in. She thought it was really cool that she could talk to me through this walkie-talkie, and we could talk back and forth, and she would just let me know that everything was okay. And every now and again I would key it up and ask her if everything was okay, and we came up with little code names so that nobody knew exactly who we were or where we were, what we were talking about. Well, they could hear what we were talking about, but we had code names, so that was fun for her. And Eventually, there came a day where she was at the park, and she used the microphone, and she said, there's some teenage boys here, and they're staring at us, because she was there with her girlfriend. They were both little blonde hair, blue-eyed cuties, and so these boys were staring at them, and one of them decided to walk over to her and ask her if she had a lighter. Okay, now, she was too young to care about lighters or any of that kind of business, so why this kid was talking to her about a lighter was beyond me. But obviously it was a way for him to initiate conversation. As soon as he did that, she walked away from him, and then she used the microphone, she used the walkie-talkie, and she called me. And she said, one of the boys came over and asked me for a lighter. And I said to her, while you're talking to me, hold the microphone to your face and turn and look right at him. So she did that. And then she said, oh, he's talking to the others and they're leaving. I said, as soon as he saw the microphone that you were talking, and he left, right? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay, just to be on the safe side, you should come back for a few minutes, and then you can go back to the park. But let them leave so that they cannot see you before you come back to the house. So she did that. Probably right there, I avoided the possibility of gang members talking to my daughter and trying to convince her to do something with them. Hang out, party, whatever. So, demand peace in your neighborhood. Demand peace on the road. If you're driving down the road and somebody's driving fast, it's not your job to cut them off. It's not your job to blast your horn or to slam your brakes on to try and cause an accident. What you should do is drive casually, calmly, and go about your business. And understand that if there really is a problem, you can call the police. It's their job to handle speeding drivers and reckless drivers. As soon as a person starts to exceed the speed limit excessively, which means over 5-10 miles an hour over the speed limit, they have just turned their transportation vehicle into a weapon of destruction, a what do they call it, a violent weapon, or the ability to use your vehicle as a weapon for violence. This is how they view it in court. Next, demand peace at work. If you have a coworker or somebody that's constantly fussing and feuding and yelling and screaming, talk to your boss. Say, you know, this is non-conducive to the work environment. We need a professional environment where this sort of activity isn't taking place. And if you can't handle this problem, then I may need to seek another form of employment, because I'm not happy working in an environment where I have to deal with this sort of an attitude problem. So demand peace at work. Demand peace in school for your children. If there are kids hassling your child, go to the school and say, you know, I demand that you handle this problem. I'm not going to sit back and let you, put this off any longer. I'm going to go to the school board and report those individuals that are not handling this problem within the school properly. Oftentimes, all it takes is one meeting before those teachers and the principal and those people that are responsible for handling those children step up and take responsibility and handle the problem. Once the problem is handled, the problem is resolved. And then your child has a more conducive environment to learn in. Tell your child that if things get worse, or if some of the teachers begin to pick on them, to let you know. This is important. You have to continue to back up your actions. If that happens, go back to the school. Let them know that now the violence is coming from the teachers and that this is absolutely unacceptable. Let them know that you're going to go to the school board. Write a letter to the school board. Whether they take action or not doesn't matter. At least you've created documentation that supports the fact that you're going to follow up with what you said you were going to do. Demand peace at church. Let them know that sitting around and doing what they're doing hasn't brought peace yet. In fact, we have secret intelligence agencies that are driving the government into the ground. They're trying to destroy the government. They're actually trying to create an environment where nobody has freedom to demand anything. So, demand peace in those places that you go to where you seek freedom and wisdom. Finally, demand peace from the government. As the people, we have the power to push our government towards this action. President Reagan had it right when he was having peace talks. We need another president going to do the same thing. Encourage our president to take the steps towards peace. Don't bash him. Don't talk bad about him. None of that is required, necessary, or is it correct. Demand peace from our government. Whoever's in charge will have no choice but to step up and take action. If we all speak together as a people and start a peace revolution, the government will respond. And because we put them in a position of power to handle these sort of issues at the request of the people, we have the right to request this from our government. Let's do that. Demand peace. Thank you for watching.